Alrighty, welcome to another episode of the Bird Herd, sponsored by Redbird Esports. Today, I have Schuyler Hughes, also known as Phaqs, coming in today. Maxine will either be joining us later or not at all, so I'm solo doloing for now. So, Schuyler, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you doing, Terry?
Good, man. So, I know you do a lot for us. I mean, you're the president of, Redbirds, esports right now for the gaming club and everything. You are a part of CS:GO and all that. And let's talk about the president part. So, since you've been president, what has changed a lot now from when you started to this point?
Yeah, so when I started being the president of Redbird Gaming, that was last January. This was just before COVID hit. We also used to operate under a different model. We used to have all the game clubs were kind of under one title, just as Redbird Esports. Since then, we kind of remodeled, and now every game title has their own club. So now we have more club leaders. We have presidents of more clubs. And so my job as a Redbird Gaming president is just to be responsible for overseeing everything that impacts the whole Redbird Gaming audience and the whole body of students. So those are some of the changes is COVID and then also our restructuring. One other thing that has been a positive change has been we now have like space on campus. We have the facility, the vault, that players are able to play from. We still haven't gotten it completely open to everybody because of COVID, but those are some of the changes. And I guess this fall with the launch of the varsity program, that's not really my duty, but one change we've seen as a whole unit is having scholarship gamers. So that's awesome. So those are some of the most notable changes we've seen.
Yeah, and I agree. I think getting the clubs like their own leaders and everything like that is definitely good in that case, because then it's not like all of you are trying to run like three different clubs at the same time, or like someone has to bug you about something that really shouldn't concern you necessarily as a club leader, but obviously as a president, of course. But
Mhm.
um,
One of the main reasons we did that is because our old exec board was a little bit overwhelmed. And again, people who showed that much interest to be a part of the exec board were usually heavily invested in their games. So once we start trying to put our hands into other titles that maybe we don't know as much about, we're not as passionate about overall, we wouldn't be doing as good of a job as maybe somebody who's ultra passionate, who wants to lead that club. So really breaking it up like that, give opportunity for new people to get experience, to get leadership, and to push their game further. And we always say whenever new people come and approach talking about they want to like, do we have a club for this title? And if we don't, we say we give them the resources to build it out. And we always tell them the club will only go as far as you push it. And so having a passionate leader for those game titles is super important. And that's one of the benefits of having this type of a model.
I agree, because if you put in the work, you're going to get rewarded. I mean,
Yeah.
you can't just get a handout essentially. So because if you're just getting handouts, then that's not building that kind of structure that students need to learn also too, to take into the business world as well, into like life in general kind of a thing.
Hmm.
So I think that's definitely a good structure to kind of have. And for games that may eventually die off, kind of a thing. I mean, we saw what Halo died off, of course, like right around Halo 5, and then now it's back because they brought Master Chief Collection, the PC. We got 1 through 4, and then now we have Halo Infinite coming out later this year. So, and I mean, the same thing with CS:GO. I mean, you guys changed up a lot of things, obviously, compared to just how CS used to be,
Hmm.
like years and years ago. So it's definitely interesting and all that. So, since you mentioned club leaders, you are also the CS:GO club leader. So,
Yeah, I serve as the treasurer of Counter Strike. Michael Platt in the Discord. He's the president of CS:GO, and he is very on top of everything. And there needs to be a lot of credit given to him because he's done a great job, not only continuing to keep us active, but also organization wise, he's always on top of his things and pushing our club further. And I think that's one of the main reasons that Counter Strike has been semi successful at ISU and growing is because he's done a great job leading it. So I am a part of it, but Michael's the head on that department. So shout out to him.
Right, and I mean, we use club leader as a loose role also too, because
Yeah.
obviously it's not like you're the president of the club or anything like that. You're obviously on the board that helps out, and do
Hmm.
different things. So obviously, as a treasurer, you got to do a lot. So I'm sure he's definitely working you and everything like that to make sure that you guys get to keep up, make sure that you're getting a lot of good tournaments, getting
Hmm.
some practice time and everything in, as well as I'm sure he's contributing to the games and different things, kind of like how you are the captain of your varsity team. As a captain, I mean, I'm sure it's going to be stressful and everything like that. So, uh, how do you deal with it? I mean, it's a shooter game. I mean, you go what, like 30 rounds, right? 31
Yes.
rounds.
So being kind of the captain of a CS:GO team, what it kind of entails is, one, it starts before we even hop into the server, making sure, one, people are aware of our schedule, when we're going to be practicing, when we're going to be playing, and also upholding expectations of getting on early, warming up, and putting our best foot forward. That's one thing we take very seriously, is that aspect of it, is showing up and being prepared. I think preparation is very important, and we definitely strive to do that so we don't come out flat. And then once we've got kind of our pregame kind of ritual or run through down, we then go into picks and bans, which is one thing that we as a team work through. Ultimately, I guess I click the button, but we'll talk about what maps we don't want to play against certain teams. We'll talk about where we think we can leverage advantages, and try and get favorable maps, whether it's a best of one or a best of three. And we usually do a pretty good job where we come out either relatively comfortable, or we think we leave picks and bans with a big advantage. And then when it comes to, once we actually get in the serve and we start playing, my role is the in-game leader, which means I'm like the shot caller, which is a lot of responsibility. But at this point, we've been playing together for so long, and everybody on the team, kind of, the goal has always been to have kind of 5 players that all think the same, think together. So they're always giving input, but ultimately, with as much practice and preparation that we have put in along the journey, they really don't need very much leading. They think for themselves. They do a great job. We play together, and everything after that is just communication. So I don't think there's very much credit there, because everybody's done such a good job along the way. We put in a lot of time, and so it definitely shows.
Yeah, I mean, you guys have been around for a while now, and I mean, you're definitely showing, and it's, I mean, I always love seeing our results section, just seeing you guys doing well. As much as I dog the game a little bit, it's more just to tease Platt than anything. Yeah, it's definitely. I mean, it's showing. I mean, clearly, I like you guys. I think a little better than R6 sometimes. Oh, by the way, Max is here. So, hey, Max.
Wow, I don't know what that's supposed to mean.
Hey, you know what? I had to.
I guess I
I,
deserve it. I
I
guess I
already flamed
deserve
you
that
once
one.
already in
Yeah,
this. So I'm gonna
I'll
flame you
take it.
again.
I'll take it. Phaqs, how we doing?
Good. How are you?
Doing good, man. Sorry for being late there. My cat is a little menace and knocked over a plant, got dirt all over the place.
You're good, man. Yeah. So I mean, again, as a captain, though, I mean, obviously you take on a lot, and that's definitely good that you guys work out a lot of different things. You know what maps you want to play on, what you don't want. Obviously the style that everyone's playing, because I'm sure it's kind of like other games you see VOD reviews, so you can like go over everything, make sure okay what's going to be the most ideal thing and what's not going to be, what they're probably going to do and stuff like that. So
Yeah, I think one of the interesting things about our team is, a lot of us have been playing together for going on 2 years now. When we first started the club 2 springs ago, we still have 3 players from that original lineup still playing. We've had a lot of growth from that time, I can definitely say, individually and as a team. We've had some new folks step into the realm. Like I said, we had 2 new players. One of them this year is a freshman, so it was cool kind of seeing people transition, like coming to ISU, especially during COVID, and having a way for them to instantly step in and get connected. kind of make a group of friends, share common interests, and really get them involved. And then the other guy on our team, he is a transfer student. So again, I think it just reinforces the idea of how esports is more than just gaming, and really how we're able to connect and engage students. Like, if I was in that situation, like my freshman years when I got involved, and it was a great way for me to stay in touch with people, and make friends. And if I was a transfer student, I know we have multiple transfer students who've come here and instantly fit in. But it's just a great thing to have culture wise, as not only our club, but for ISU in general, just for people to step in, share common interests, make friends, and just get along and enjoy it. So I think that's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I just wanted to know, like, real quick, like, how many hours do you think you guys as a team put in practice each week?
Um, so we used to practice a lot more than we do now. Like the first season, 2 seasons we played, because we were really like rough around the edges. We kind of are more well-rounded now. We don't have to put in as much like VOD review time, I feel. And also people play on different teams for other leagues. So scheduling can be difficult. So now, I mean, a majority of our time is matches or scrimming before our matches. So, I mean, 10 hours some weeks, I would say, is around where we're at. But we used to practice 4 to 5 nights a week, 2 to 3 hours a night, and then matches on top of that. But now we're for the most part matches and scrims before.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think once you have like that synergy, the initial synergy built up, then it's not as intensive of a practice as it was before. Just, knowing everybody knowing what roles they need to do, what has to happen and coming into practice and going into the games ready.
Yeah, we're by no means perfect, and we could definitely use some more of that VOD review and some of that the dry running, just practicing in a server alone. But that's the challenges of being a student athlete in this case. You know what I mean? We only have so much time. People have other teams and commitments, so we try to put our best foot forward, but also we understand that there's other things that people have commitments and stuff. So we're also flexible.
That's good. I mean, you want to be like that because if you're not, I mean, it's kind of it kind of makes the game either maybe not enjoyable to that person in the long run. Because I've seen it happen where like people like restrict people, like they're like you have to always do this, all that you can't get out of it, like yada yada. Especially for things like okay, school or they need to get out because I mean, come on, we're stuck in a pandemic right now. You guys need to get out like once in a while and do stuff
Mhm.
with friends. You can't just be just locked up in your dorms or your apartments or anything like that. You gotta do some stuff.
Burnout's a
But
serious issue, and we started to see that a little bit early on when we were practicing so much and so hard, where the quality of practice goes down. When people aren't into it, we want our players at their peak focus, at their peak performance during practice, instead of continuing on when other things come into it. Playing on bad practice is there's no it's kind of a waste of time. So I think it's important to balance that. And COVID has given us more of a reason to practice. People have more time on their hands and stuff like that. But still, avoiding burnout is a serious thing that we take it seriously. So
I mean, you had mentioned other leagues. Are like how many leagues are you guys in right now?
yeah, so for CS, our collegiate team competes in NACCS and CSL. CSL is best of 3 every week, and actually, after this podcast, we're playing in round 1 of CSL playoffs, so that's exciting.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and then NACCS, we're about halfway through the regular season. Our goal is obviously to make playoffs for that as well, and we're in a decent spot to do that at the moment. So hopefully we can keep up that. And then outside of that, Counter Strike has a very strong league presence that's not connected to Collegiate Counter Strike.
Like face it kind of thing.
Yeah, it's hosted by ESEA, which is just face its rival, and then 3 of us from the school team play in the main division, which is it's just middle of the pack. It goes open, intermediate, main, advanced, and then premier. And semi-pro is premier is about where you get pro, semi-pro ish. So we're halfway up the ladder, and so that's where we're competing outside of that. So yeah, that's kind of how busy we stay. We got a best of 3, a best of 1, and then 2 matches for our ESEA main.
Yeah, you for sure got a tight schedule there. Add school, homework, all that jazz on top of that, and I'm sure you are, your weeks probably fly by at this point. Who are you guys playing today? Right after this?
Yes, so we play University of British Columbia. We're the 31 seed, they're the 32 seed. How it works is there's a bunch of different conferences. I don't know how many, and then top 3 from each conference make it. We happen to be in the strongest Midwest conference that has 2 teams that are, I think, ranked in the top 5. So we finished our group 3rd, but we're happy. We're happy to, 1, make playoffs, and 2, we had some very difficult teams, and I'd be surprised if one of those 2 doesn't go on to win it. So we'll be monitoring that. But yeah, we've got a good matchup round 1. If we win, we play RIT. They're the number 1 seed. We're hoping to see what we can do against them. And then after that, there's a lowers bracket if we need it, or maybe we can pull up the upset against RIT. So that's kind of our outlook for the CSL playoffs right now.
Absolutely. I mean, anything can happen in collegiate esports.
Yeah.
Do you want to touch back on the being the president? Because I didn't get much information on that one.
Yeah, I can talk a little bit about our goals and some of our growth.
Yeah, absolutely.
So like you talked about, the merch, that's one thing that we've been working on for a very long time. I know our former president, Jack, that was something that at every step of the way, something went wrong and it was out of our control. But the university stepped in and helped us out. We worked with the university marketing and communications team, and they kind of came up with some drafts for us. We told them what we liked, what we didn't like. And that process was awesome working with them. And I think they did a great job with our branding. Then we had our shop. So now you can walk around, you can see people in merch. It's great for kind of just really solidifying ourselves and our presence on campus. And then when it comes to the Discord, what we did when we reformatted it is we were kind of starting at ground zero again. Everybody had to re-verify in, and we're pushing close to 850 students currently in the Discord. All of them are verified, and that's important to us for our metrics and stuff to make sure that we have ISU students in there. Some other things we've been doing is giveaways. That on top of, we've got some other things in the work. Hopefully we can get some sponsorships or more ways to benefit our members and give them a better experience. So I'll be excited to share that when that's through. And then when we really have the facilities on campus that are being built and we're post-COVID, we'll be able to have times for games specifically. So like one thing we're excited about is like maybe Counter-Strike from 6 to 8 on Thursday nights, and people will be able to walk in. No planning, no nothing, just every Thursday you can walk in and find Counter-Strike. And having that physical presence on campus is super exciting because we'll have like traffic from people just walking by, and we can really connect with people more than just we do on Discord. And we're expecting that to help our growth tremendously as we can just touch into an audience that we can't currently with the online kind of era we're in. So that's super exciting for us, and we're looking to get to that point.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a ton to look forward to in terms of the vault being open. I'm so excited to get a look at it when I can, because it is a sick space. I flex that area on like all of my other college friends. I'm like, you guys have this? No.
Yeah, it's honestly something we can take so much pride in. That space is phenomenal. They did a great job with it. High-end gaming PCs. It also breaks down some barriers for students who maybe don't have a computer, or literally in any situation where they can't play. Having that space to really connect and reach more people is awesome. So we're very much about breaking down barriers, and that's one way we're able to do it.
Yeah, I'm excited for that caster booth to actually be able to use that. And I'm sure you will be too, Max, when we do it for R6.
Hold on now. I didn't know about this. Do go on. Do tell. I didn't know there was a caster's booth. That's sick.
Yeah, so we knew there was going to be one. I think it's already built, isn't it? You just guys don't use it because we're not on campus, kind of thing, right?
Yeah, there's a space in the rec that's going to be specifically for casting, and
wow.
But COVID obviously has slowed that down. Yeah, we're super excited about having that on campus because, again, it allows us to have more people able to cast for more titles if they're not in soundproof area or they don't have the equipment. But we're excited to get more students involved in that way.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I think the more you guys talk about it and the more I hear about it and see it on Facebook or in the Discord, oh man, that's so exciting. I mean, obviously, I don't know. Let me look in the Discord right now. I'm guessing you were with the ambassador stuff. Obviously, that went over pretty well. It looked like, I think it was really cool that you guys set the initiative with the 3080, the PlayStation 5 or the Xbox. But can you talk a little bit about Redbirds Give Back and how that went for us?
Yeah. So as a lot of people know, we did the Among Us event specifically catered towards Redbird Esports during the Redbirds Give Back. We had VIPs, we had LJ, and many more for some kind of a mix of VIPs and students to raise money for the esports program. On top of that, I was able to speak a part of the Redbirds Give Back webinar about what it's like to be a Redbird during the pandemic and kind of share our story as a club and my own personal story with alum as we tried to reach our goal, which thankfully we did reach, and we raised a ton of money for the esports program. That's going to go a long way to help create more opportunities. So Redbirds Give Back was an awesome experience for the club. We're definitely appreciative of all the support that we received.
Yeah, I mean, it was fun. Yeah, and I don't remember if I was the 100th or the 101st, but I know I'm like, we hit our goal by the time I donated. So
Yeah, absolutely. It was cool to see that. Like, even I was just walking by, I think Tech Zone. I was at work and saw like the total for all the money raised by all the different RSOs or clubs, and it really, definitely broke 1 million. So, to see that much raised in 24 hours is pretty incredible. I think it's really cool that we do that. Yeah, I just was over the moon that we were able to raise that much money. I don't think I won the graphics card, but you win some and you lose some, I guess.
Yeah. It was also awesome that the university kind of outlined Redbird Esports and Redbird Gaming as a highlight or primary focus for the event. With that platform and their support, we were able to just blow it out of the water compared to what they were expecting, as well as like what the normal kind of crowdfunding is for an esports program and like nationally right now. So we're definitely very appreciative of ISU and their continued support.
yeah, I mean, I was surprised by that too because I was like, I clicked on it, I'm like, wait, do I have to hit other and then type like out like this for Redbird Esports or not? And then I was just like, oh, it's actually for Redbirds Esports. I'm like, this is definitely nice. I didn't have to like do anything extra or anything like that. I think they're still tallying up right now, aren't they?
Yeah, they're still trying to figure out who won the graphics card or the PS5 or Xbox. I'm excited to see. I wonder who our big winner is going to be, and I honestly have no idea what their like rake in amount would be. I'm excited for that.
Oh, absolutely. I think I saw. I wanted to say it was on Twitter. I think I saw Wookie said like she was streaming and like all donations from her stream were going towards that. I thought that was like a really good way to reach out and get some more. Yeah, I was like, man, I should have thought about something like that.
Yeah, Wookie's done a great job with her stream and also advertising and just being like one of the main faces, I think, of Redbird Gaming as a whole. She's done some great work for us, so that was awesome that she was doing that for the club.
She's definitely great to have on the show last fall.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm super sad that I did get to dupe her, the other night, but it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, it definitely was fun. I mean, going from a 35-minute game to like a less than 4-minute game was pretty fun, at least at that point. And I'm glad we were able to raise even as much as we did for Redbird Esports, and like you said, Max, we broke that million. For all the other RSOs. So that's crazy just to think of that even happened.
Mm-hmm.
The other RSOs are getting that too.
Oh yeah, especially in like a pandemic time, it's hard to want to donate money or give anything away when it feels like you just at least as a student, I'm like, I want all the money, please. Like I can't afford this or that. But like I wanted to get back to CS:GO before we let you go here for your game. I am a man that knows very little about CSGO. I know the general premise. I've played it a few times. I've been cheated on these kids are spinning and doing 360s and shooting me through walls. What is your favorite gun to use though in comp?
My favorite weapon, man, it's kind of basic, but I'd have to probably go with the AK.
I figured that was going to be it.
It's going to be the primary rifle that people are going to be picking up when they're on the attacking side. It's just honestly, it's so iconic. It's always been, or pretty much always been, the pickup on the attacking side. Not to mention, I do like skins, and it's got some memorable skins that you can play with. So kind of customizing it is always fun. That's the premier weapon, I would say. It's my favorite.
I did always enjoy like the stat track weapons. I thought that was a really cool premise, and like even some of the skins were clean. Are there any restrictions for you guys? Like I don't really know if like the operator or the characters or whatever have like different skins, but are all weapon skins are allowed and stuff like that in these leagues?
Yeah, so every single weapon skin is available. When the operator skins first came out, or the agent skins, I think is what the actual term is. I don't really keep up with it too much.
Yeah.
They they used to there was a green skin, and on certain maps you could just hide in any green background, and it gave
Oh
you a
no.
huge advantage. And leagues actually had it banned for a while. They did some updates and stuff, changed some visual settings so that agents are still in the game. But there was actually a time where that was kind of a small controversy, is how much of an advantage you could get in some positions just hiding with the green skin. But yeah,
Yeah.
other than that, everything is able to be used. But some services will automatically disable them. But yeah, that was an interesting point in the Counter-Strike timeline.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's crazy to think though that like there is a skin that was just able to do that. I mean, it's like I guess it's like Call of Duty 2 or Warzone banned when they were doing like their midnight series for Halloween. If you did a tournament during then, you could not use the rose skin. That's like the all black one
Hmm.
and everything like that because you literally could just hide in a corner and no one would ever see you. like
Yeah,
like even if you had your settings like all the way up on brightness, like you could barely like see the person's eyes. Let's put it that way, kind of thing. Like that's how dark they made the skin. I was just like, oh, okay. I mean, this is bad.
it kind of leads me into one of my favorite parts about Counter-Strike. I think is that there. I mean, I think the premise of having different skills or abilities and stuff like that is really cool. But in Counter Strike, the only advantage that somebody has over me is economy wise, right? Maybe they
Right.
have a stronger weapon, but at the end of the day, I'm not going up against ultimates. I'm not going against, I'm not facing an OP operator or something like that. We're all the same. We all have the same like skill set. I don't nothing like I don't feel like I ever get gimmicked in that way. Not to say that other games like are inferior. That's just my personal preference. And so for me, Counter Strike has always just been something I've loved because if I lose, it's because they were better than me in a lot of situations. You know what I'm saying? And I never feel like there's like an OP operator or anything. So that's been one of my favorite parts about Counter Strike is just the level playing field that the game offers.
Yeah, you get true skill based matchmaking. I mean, that's what it is. I mean, you're not like you said, you're not worrying about an operator like how you have with Siege, or you're not worried about an agent, like that you have in Valorant that's got some power up or whatever
Hmm.
the case is, essentially to be able to ice wall you or to just stop you from doing something that what you would have killed them at that point, just because you're able to click head faster than the other person.
Yeah.
No, I'm still thinking about all the different weapons. Obviously the op in CS:GO is like, the everybody's safe haven. Who do you think on your team is the best opper?
The best opera on my team, it's definitely his in-game name is Kunta. His name is Josh. He's our primary opper. It's actually funny. I give him a hard time about this all the time, but he says it goes back to his Team Fortress 2 days when he was the sniper player. But he's definitely our best opper. Although we actually have everybody but me can pick it up and be effective with it.
That'd
But
be me too. Yeah, I'd be the one that's like, no, I can't. Sorry.
yeah,
Same.
I'm a rifler by heart. I don't enjoy the op. I very much hate it. So if there's one person that my team hates to see it in their hands, like if I'm trying to save it or my teammate dies with it and we're on a save, so I pick it up, it's like, oh, we're bad news for us. Like, we don't want
It's bad.
Schuyler to have it. So
Bad news bears right there.
yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely should try to actually play CS and like get better at shooters that way. But I mean, when I play Call of Duty, where it's just lasers, at that point, and then I switch back to like Valorant or just something of the like, or even Overwatch. It's just like I feel like I don't get that true skill based matchmaking that I when I played BRs. Like I played H1. H1 was always my favorite because you had basically true like skill with that because you had to like factor for like bullet drop and kind of like what you had to do with CS:GO. You had everything pretty much, like the way that you kind of wanted it, or what you would expect, for a shooter, and then you still get caught, and it's just like, all right, well, I just throw all these attachments on there, and then I shoot straight, and I don't have to do anything else.
Beams for real.
I think that's the one thing I like that you guys don't have with CS is you don't have like these like crazy attachments that you again, like you said, like you're a game that has skill-based matchmaking that's actually true to itself and not like, oh, I need to build like 9,000 walls like in Fortnite or something.
Yeah, it's just a level playing field, and you can talk about how the economy makes it not a level playing field, but then I would just argue, win the pistol round or win
just win.
Just win around like. Spread around the forehead.
The reason they have more money than you is because they won.
Just click.
So.
Yeah, there we go. Just click, guy. That's all that is. If you want the eco, you just got to click on the head. Very simple. Well, I mean, I'm running out of questions for you here, and I know that you are probably wanting to at least go warm up a little bit. Gigatron, you got anything else here?
Nope, I'm all set. So I want to say thanks to Max for actually showing up late and and being here, even though I know it's kind of something that wasn't controlled. So I understand, but I do want to thank Schuyler for taking his time out today to join us and everything, update us kind of what's going on with goals and where we're at with things right now, and what we can be able to see, especially with the varsity aspect of the esports section that has been taken off more with these scholarships and everything. So anything else you want to say? Any shout outs you want to do, Schuyler?
Just thank you guys for giving me this opportunity, and then just shout out to everybody who's working hard behind the scenes with Redbird Gaming, making it possible, because really it's a team effort and we have a lot of people working very hard, and that's why we're able to see solid growth and put on worthwhile events for our members. So
yeah, not to mention, man, you're killing it as president right now. So definitely keep up the good work, and definitely go ahead and go out there today and get that dub for us.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Dub.
Absolutely. Well, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. I am Saxy Maxi, joined with Gigatron and this week's guest, Schuyler Phaqs Hughes. Thank you so much for coming on. We will see you guys next week. You're listening to The Bird Herd. Goodbye, everybody.